Bruh, the difference between Tekken 7 and Tekken 8 is so big, bruh. It makes me not even want to get back on Tekken 7 sometimes, bruh. Sometimes I don't even want to get back on Tekken 7 after touching 8, bruh. 8 looks so damn good. See, look at her compared to what we just looked at with like Lydia, bruh. This shit look garbage. This shit looks like a PS3 game. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Today, we're looking at Does Tekken Fail at Making Female Characters by Dash Fight. Yes, I definitely got clickbaited to this. I got clickbaited to the title because I definitely think they make good female characters. Women characters because Twitter women don't like when people call them female and shit like that. I don't understand what that means, but I guess to them it means diet bitch. But anyway, we're about to watch this video and about to see how it is.
Tekken has been around for almost 3 decades, and the number of characters that have been playable in at least one entry is slowly creeping towards 100. Did you know that Tekken holds the Guinness World Record for the longest running video game storyline without any substantial development gaps or reboots? It's like your mother's favorite telenovela. It's been here for a while and doesn't intend to stop. All of its characters slot into the storyline somewhere. Some are the major players with everything revolving around them like Jin, Kazuya, Heihachi, or Nina. Others are important, adjacent to the main plot, but don't play a pivotal role like Hwoarang, Claudio, Asuka, and Zhao Yu. But then some others are relegated to just fill some of the necessary roles in the setting while only having passing connections to the main story, like Ganryu, Baek Doosan, Craig Marduk, and the upcoming Azucena. This is unavoidable, a necessary evil if you may. As we mentioned in our previous video about the newcomers of Tekken 8, not everyone can be a protagonist. What is perfectly avoidable, however, are the list of problems with Tekken's female characters. Let's talk a little bit more about this. It's not easy to make a compelling and memorable fighting game character. Their design should be coherent and fitting while being easily recognizable so that the character isn't mistaken for 1,000 similar ones. Their backstory should make sense, even if it's just within its own setting.
That's my baby right there. This is my baby right here. But for other reasons. She just looked like a freak. That's why she looked like, you know what? Let me stop barking.
Their voice should match their visuals. Hello, Natara. And the gameplay should be engaging and fun. Then there are secondary elements like direct appeal to a certain demographic, the authenticity of the presentation, gameplay balance, and lack of self-copying. The latter is one of the elements where Tekken falters a bit concerning female characters. We all know that it's not easy to model characters that could become fan favorites, and technology in the past wasn't as advanced to give them photorealistic looks. But the last couple of Tekken entries have been released in the era of high fidelity graphics, so it's really strange that many female characters suffer from the problem of having similar faces. This is something that has been noted by the community time and time again. Just boot up Tekken 7 and compare Ling Xiaoyu with Asuka or Lucky Chloe or Elisa. They all have oval faces, cute small noses, neatly placed eyes, and similar eyebrows.
I don't know if it's y'all or just me, but I can definitely tell. I can tell when the characters are different, but it might only just because of the hair. Because not gonna lie, when when you create a character on like Tekken and everything, sometimes I don't be knowing who the fuck some of these women are, unless you actually see their name at the top. Because I didn't mistaken like my homies what's his name, Julia, for like my Oscar sometimes. I was like, how the fuck you get Oscar, nigga? I'd be like, oh, that's his Julia. You know what? Damn. You know what? Damn, he might be cooking on this one. He might be cooking a little bit. Oh, shit.
Of course, they aren't identical, but the similarities are still there. Even Josie, Kazumi, or Kunimitsu have similar facial structures, although the latter is helped by her makeup. which makes her eyes have fox-like features. It's not all doom and gloom, however. We do have some good examples of nicely made faces in Tekken 7. Zafina and Lydia. Zafina has slightly darker skin, and her makeup accentuates her deep eyes, while her raised eyebrows make her look confident and fierce. Lydia, on the other hand, is noticeably paler than the rest of the cast, and while she's very much conventionally beautiful, her face has a blemish the others lack, a deep scar running across her eye. Her face is also more round rather than oval, and she has subtle yet classy makeup on. We've already seen all—
Bruh, the difference between Tekken 7 and Tekken 8 is so big, bruh. It makes me not even want to get back on Tekken 7 sometimes, bruh. Sometimes I don't even want to get back on Tekken 7 after touching 8, bruh. 8 looks so damn good. See, look at her compared to what we just looked at with like Lydia, bruh. This shit look garbage. This shit looks like a PS3 game. Alright, I'm slicing it, but still. This shit definitely looks outdated now, bruh. I it's crazy what technology be doing, bruh.
other than oval, and she has subtle yet classy makeup on. We've already seen all the female characters from the
Xbox
upcoming Tekken
360,
8, and
no
while the problem
bullshit.
seems less severe now, it's still there. We've seen people somewhat disappointed in the game's graphics after the real gameplay wasn't as good or cinematic as that epic Jin vs. Kazuya trailer, but the reality is
Niggas talking about the graphics. These Tekken 8 graphics are fucking fire. You just did a side by side between Tekken 7 and Tekken 8. The Tekken 8 graphics look better. Looks way better. I don't understand why they're complaining.
that Tekken 8 looks much better than Tekken 7. Most of the cast received facelifts. Just compare Xiao Yu and Lily to their old selves from the previous title. But this didn't solve the underlying problem. Compare Reina with Asuka, for example. They very much look alike. There's also another issue that Tekken 8's female characters have, and it's their perfect, wax figure-like faces. Most of the male cast of the game look rugged, with scars, wrinkles, visible pores, moles, and other imperfections, while female characters look like they're porcelain dolls. And no, we're not asking Harada to make them uglier. And we've heard enough ludicrous talk about how Tekken should continue giving them perfect faces and not make them ugly like Mortal Kombat to fill the runtime of 5 videos. We're just asking to make them more human. It's quite a peculiar thing because Bandai Namco absolutely did not cheap out on the models. Everyone in Tekken 8 looks better than ever. Well, almost everyone. Sorry, Paul.
Why does everyone gotta keep going on Paul? If Donnie was here, that nigga would say Paul is the ugliest, worst character in Tekken 8. He would be going off on Paul right now if he was actually in here. Y'all need Paul don't look that bad, bruh. He don't look that bad. And he plays a lot better than what he looks. That nigga about to go crazy in fucking Tekken 8, bruh. I just asked him. That's crazy. That's crazy. He gonna be talking shit about Paul now.
Therefore, this must be a conscious decision. It's one thing to follow the beauty is never tarnished trope,
said,
and
"Ain't no
another
lie."
to make every female character more perfect than Aphrodite. This is further exacerbated by the fact that the characters simply aren't allowed to age. Yes, the biggest time skip we ever had was between Tekken 2 and 3, and since then, only a handful of years have passed within the story. But for every character that should look older, there's always some excuse as to why they don't. Nina and Anna, well, they were in cryostasis. Kazumi, well, she's actually dead. June, she has some graying hairs. Master Raven and Katarina, we technically don't know their age. What is even the point of keeping continuity when your characters look like they live in a timeless bubble? Additionally,
I can't believe that that's a complaint. Who cares that they don't look like they getting older? Nigga, it's a fucking video game. They don't need to look like they got older, bruh. Mind you, he do have a point. If you're gonna make the men look like they're a little bit older and all that shit, you probably should do the same for the women. But you know, most niggas that play fighting games, they don't get women anyway. Psych, now let me stop. But most niggas that play fighting games, they don't give a fuck if the women look older or not. And right, Paul, ugly to the motherfucker. Here this nigga go. That was good, Donnie. But there's nothing wrong with the women not aging, bro. It is not that wrong. I said that wrong. There's nothing wrong with it.
Tekken's male characters have many different body type variations, from slim Li Xiaolon and Li Wulong to relatively average guys like Jin, Shaheen, and Claudio to absolute brick houses like Fakamram and Craig Marduk. They even have an elderly gentleman Wang and overweight Bob. Female characters, however, have a female body 1 model, and that's it. All they differ is in height. It's understandable that Tekken can't simply do what Street Fighter 6 did, with absolute unit Marissa, lean and tall Manon, and petite Lily, whose silhouette is enhanced with her
I don't like they call Lily petite. I think Lily's still like a little girl, bruh. I don't like them calling her petite. Bob is pretty cool. Fuck Bob. It's like, nah, I fuck with Bob, but fuck Bob. Nigga, Bob deserved to die.
massive war clubs. But take a look at the real world dancers, judokas, swimmers, or gymnasts. They all have completely different body types, and this is simply not reflected in Tekken. But that's not all. Tekken 8's other newcomer, Azucena, doesn't fall into the same face category as much, but she's a poster child of another issue. Supposedly, she's this extremely fun-loving individual that always radiates happiness. Rewatch her reveal trailer and tell us how many emotions show up on her face in total. Yep, a grand total of 1. The same goes for the rest of the cast, save for probably Reina. She had a smirk and a grin. Compare this to the absolute torrent of emotions pictured on the face of Paul Phoenix during every moment of his existence. And just like the previous issue, its existence is also inexplicable. We know they can make good animations and expressive faces. We've seen it in the very same game. So what gives? Circling back to the thing we mentioned in the very beginning, some characters aren't moving the plot forward. It used to be that, most of the time, the main storyline had relegated most of the female cast to be secondary characters at best, or just onlookers with their smaller, filler problems at worst. However, it started to get better with the release of Tekken 7, where we had Kazumi, whose past was quite pivotal to how the entire plot shaped up, Lydia, who was poised to play a major role in the global conflicts to come, and Zafina, whose prophecy could have serious implications. Tekken...
Hold up. If he's talking about that about Lydia, if he's talking about that about Lydia, y'all think she's gonna be on DLC for like Tekken 8? I hope we do get Lydia DLC, because if Lydia come out with DLC, I'm on her, bruh. I fuck with Lydia. Only reason I don't play with her now is because she's not gonna be on 8 currently. But I've been practicing my Kazuya, my Dragonov, and I've been practicing my Paul a little bit. Cause I fucked with Paul. I really did. Paul, that nigga different. And the more I learn about Kazuya, the more I learn how nasty this nigga really is, bruh. I've been practicing on my meat practice. I practice on my meat every day for the past 3 years. It's like, nah. Every day for 3 years is kind of crazy. I've been watching.
Seems to be building upon this foundation, and we're getting Reina instead of Heihachi Mishima, who is most definitely dead, and Jun Kazama, who is coming back with milk and cigarettes she went out to buy all those years ago. What about Ogre holding someone's severed head? Well, it was never confirmed to be Jun, so it's our oopsie. And while we can't be sure that she'll play a major role in the upcoming game, she's a Kazama, and she wasn't featured in the animated Tekken Bloodline just by pure coincidence. Still, this doesn't mean that Tekken can't do better. There are characters with direct ties to the main plot that could be given larger roles, like Nina or Elisa. And do you remember Asuka's power to subdue the Devil Gene in her ending of Tekken 5? Yeah, Harada neither. Sometimes though, Bandai Namco drops the ball entirely and makes a character that not only faces, pun intended, the aforementioned issues, but is also weak thematically and even gameplay wise. Lucky Chloe was revealed with much fanfare, with her real life cosplay and all.
I'm glad Lucky Chloe is not. Yeah, that's Jen's mom. That was Jen's mom. Fuck Lucky Chloe. That's why I stopped this video. Fuck Lucky Chloe. I'm good with June being on here. I think that June is actually dead, but they're doing a Kazumi. They're doing to her what they did with Kazumi in Tekken 7. They might just put her in like the past story or something. I watched the anime and she got fucked up. Oh yeah, she definitely got fucked up. They say Jin's mom died in Tekken between Tekken 2 and 3, but we never knew what happened. So I guess they're going to tell us what happened to her and why she's alive, or she might be dead and just that's her past self. I don't know. I can't wait. I cannot wait for it. What is it? January 26th. I already got it. Copped it. We in this bitch. We in that bitch.
Was created to follow the theme that's quite popular everywhere, but more specifically in Asia, pop idol. She's supposed to be a worldwide sensation in this industry, playing a certain role on camera, but being a bit mean and rude outside of her persona. But all she comes across as is annoying, and we're not shown a single thing to convince us why exactly she is popular. Even her fighting style is annoying. In a world where people can crush mountains with their might, harness demonic powers, and transcend the limitations of a human body, the fact that she's supposed to be beating you up with her simplistic dance moves is frankly insulting. This isn't the case of gameplay and story segregation. She's just an entertainer who's good at dancing. And no, don't Eddie Gordo us. Capoeira is a legitimate martial art. Even if we disregard all that, her entire shtick of rhythmic presses and timed inputs is simply unnecessary and hardly intuitive. Josie's a milder example of a character that simply doesn't have enough going for her. She's from the Philippines.
She's K-pop Eddie. Because you know how people think Eddie is annoying? That's how a lot of people think Lucky Chloe is annoying. You can actually spam with Eddie. Hold up, you can spam with Lucky Chloe too and still get a victory. That's crazy. You can spam with both of them and you win. Spam the same move over and over. That should be crazy, bro. Shit is wild.
But she doesn't even speak her own language like most of the Tekken cast do nowadays. And while she has some elements to her that would help you identify her as Pinoy, she's still rather weak thematically compared to someone like Bakamram, Leroy, or Claudio. The common sentiment is that she's simply fine, but people would much rather see Bruce back. All this being said, what can actually be done? The simple truth is, none of these issues are critical. This is the case of Bandai Namco doing better like we've seen they can. Adding some depth to the female characters' facial textures won't make them uglier, and giving them less stiff facial rigs could do wonders for their expressiveness. Just remember Street Fighter 6 match intros and how fun it is messing with all the expressions. The same could be said for their body types. It's relatively easy to simply observe and reference the practitioners of any given martial art, and then try to model the characters in their likeness.
God damn. Shit. Damn, she fine. What's her name? Jade Cargill? Fuck, man. Trying not to bark. Might as well add Michael Jackson. Hey, no bullshit. Might as well add that nigga.
Different sports activities develop different sets of muscles, which, in turn, are reflected in the builds. And even then, people are quite different even within the same line of activity. So there's simply no excuse not to have this reflected in the game.
Yo.
It's not even an issue of taking longer to develop the game or some additional man hours needed to address the problems. We've clearly seen how different the male characters are in Tekken 8. This is a matter of conscious choice. What's more difficult, however, is to give them more agency in the story. Tekken does have a story mode, but it's quite limited with how it can be there just simply because of the limitations of the genre. In the end, after every story beat, two people need to bash each other's faces in one-on-one. A point can be taken from Hideo Kojima's book. Do you remember Metal Gear Solid 3? It has one of the best female characters in video game history, the boss, and she's not even present there most of the game. However, her status is built up by others, so when you do see her, feel the height of her exploits confirmed by her actions directly, and watch her live up to her legacy, even the short screen time ceases to be an issue. A character needn't always be on screen to be important, even pivotal to the story, and this is exactly the route Tekken could take to build up one of its female characters. Again, we're not asking for Julia or Lily to substitute Jin and Kazuya as the main characters. We're just asking to give them more agency, more notability. Ultimately though, to answer our own question from the title, no, Tekken does not completely fail at making female characters. There are enough signs that point towards them getting better at most of the issues we talked about. However, it doesn't mean they can't do better, because they should. And that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. What do you think of Tekken?
W video. I fuck with that video. It did have some points. The female body type is literally the same. If they had like different variations of female characters, that definitely would be cool. And maybe that could be like a DLC option. Maybe we have like a big Marissa like woman to be like in the roster or something. That would definitely be cool. But you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe on below. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.